Hello and welcome to the Video Gadgets Journal for another hints and tips set of videos. Now previously I made a complete guide to the Nexus 6 which included 100 tips, but I got negative feedback from that because I included tips such as how to turn on the Nexus 6. So what I've done is I stripped out all the what you might consider useless tips and just included the ones that you may find useful. So this is now the useful guide to your Nexus 6 Android Lollipop device before we move on to Android Marshmallow. Enjoy, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. To quickly access your phone contacts from the lock screen, swipe from left to right on any part of the screen that isn't a notification. This will launch your phone dialing options. To quickly access the camera from the lock screen, swipe from right to left on any part of the screen that isn't a notification. To create a folder of icons on your home screen, long press on an icon to pick it up and then drop it on top of another icon to create a folder. You can then pick up more icons to add to the folder. Tap on the folder to access the icons in it. To disband the folder, long press on the icons in the folder and then pull them out and drop them on your home screen. When one icon is left, the folder will automatically disappear. To rename a home screen folder, open the folder and then press on the words unnamed folder. The keyboard will pop up and you can type in your new folder name. Press enter on the keyboard or tap off the folder to complete the renaming process. Many widgets can be resized, and to do this you need to long press on it to pick it up and then drop it in the same location. A border will appear around the widget, which you can then drag to adjust the size of the widget. Tap off the widget to confirm its new size. If you swipe down from off the top of the screen, this will display your notifications. If you swipe down again when notifications are displayed, this will show various quick settings. You can gain instant access to this quick settings screen by swiping down with two fingers from the top of the screen. When you view notifications on home screens, you can expand individual alerts by pinching them outwards or inwards to contract them again. If you want to know the source of an application, long press on it to display the application name. When a notification source is displayed, you can press on the information icon to take you to the app notification settings for that particular notification. You can then choose to block the notifications from ever appearing again, which can be useful for over-eager games and social media apps. You can also set notifications to priority from the same screen by long pressing on the notification, tapping on the information button and then toggling the priority tab on the app notification screen. To set priority mode on your handset, press the volume button and then tap on the middle priority option. You can set this for a length of time or indefinitely. This will put priority notifications to the top of a list and only allow incoming notifications from priority applications. If you want to manage all of your application notifications in one go, you can do this by going to Settings and then selecting the Sound and Notification option. In this screen towards the bottom, there is another option called App Notifications. This lists all your applications and you can flick back and forth through them to your heart's content to block and prioritize each application notification. If you want to hide the content of notifications, you will need to set up some form of security on your device, and to do this you need to go to Settings and then choose Security. Choose your desired style of security, whether it be a pattern lock, PIN number or password. After you have done this, the next screen you see asks you if your notifications should be displayed. If you choose Hide Sensitive Notification Content, then when you next display notifications, any content will be replaced with the line Contents Hidden. Once you have security in place, you can change notification security options by going to Settings and then Sound and Notifications. The option you want this time is When Device is Locked, and this will give you three options. If you choose Don't Show Notifications at all, then when your handset is locked, you will not see any reference to notifications at all. However, when you unlock your device, you can swipe down from the top of the screen to view your notifications. When you're using the camera, to access both camera features and settings, swipe from left to right on the screen. Camera features are on the left, the settings button is on the right. To take a still shot when you're filming, You can tap on the screen, which will flash white to indicate a picture has been taken. If you swipe in from the right side of the screen, this will give you quick access to the pictures in your gallery, with the most recent pictures displayed first. You can swipe from right to left to cycle through your pictures, and swipe left to right to return to the camera mode. If you swipe outwards from the middle of the screen with your thumbs, you can zoom in, and if you pinch towards the middle of the screen, this will zoom back out. That's a pretty standard feature, but the extra party trick is the ability to double tap on the screen with one thumb or finger, and then swipe left or right to control the zoom as well. To focus on different parts of your shot, simply tap on the part of the screen you want to focus on, and a white ring will appear on screen. You should see the camera refocus at that point on that particular subject. You can use manual exposure on the Nexus 6 camera, but it's hidden away a little bit in the settings screen. To access it, swipe in from the left side of the screen, choose settings and then press on the advanced options. That's where you will find manual exposure, and you can toggle it on or off. You probably don't notice this, but most camera settings on phones automatically switch the handset screen to full brightness when the camera is in use. Strangely, the Nexus 6 doesn't do this, so to make sure what you see on screen most accurately reflects what shot you're about to capture, make sure you turn the brightness up to full manually. You can turn Wi-Fi off when the Nexus 6 is asleep to save battery power, and you do this by going to Settings, selecting Wi-Fi, and then pressing the three dots in the top right hand corner and choosing Advanced. In this screen you want the Keep Wi-Fi on during sleep option, and then you can choose to have it always on, only when plugged in, or never. Do bear in mind that if you turn Wi-Fi off during sleep, you may not receive notifications such as emails and social media updates. If you go to the battery screen, under the battery usage graph, a list of the most battery hungry apps and processors will be displayed. You can press on each of these things, and some of them will suggest ways in which you can conserve battery and provide direct links on the places to go to do that. It's mostly system apps and processors that offer this functionality, but investigate and see what battery saving opportunities are out there. The Nexus 6 uses an ambient display, which means that whenever you pick it up, the screen comes on. If you don't like the idea of that feature drinking your battery juice, go to Settings, Display, and then toggle off Ambient Display. As well as trying to protect your battery, you also want to maximise charging time. So on screen now is a list of charging methods and how much they increase the battery in a 30-minute test. As I said in my first battery tip, the turbo charge is by far and away the quickest way to charge the Nexus 6. Next comes wall chargers, with portable chargers a little behind and wireless charging way behind. Also try to minimise the use of your phone when it's charging, but turning it off, at least in my experience, doesn't make much of a difference. For a more detailed look at how to charge your phone, click on the link on screen now. On the same data screen you can view the list of applications that use data, with the hungriest ones at the top. If you press on an app, you will be taken through to a screen where you can do something called Restrict Background Data. This will stop the application doing things like syncing with the app, downloading updates and other things that require a data connection. Instead, it will do these things when the app is being used directly by you or when connected to Wi-Fi. Now this can have unpredictable results, so it's best to experiment at first, but it is worth checking out as some apps do a lot of sneaky stuff without you even realising. If you want to take a more extreme approach, you can restrict background data for all your applications on your device by pressing the three dots in the top right of the screen and selecting Restrict Background Data. If you do this, however, be prepared for some interesting experiences. You are almost certainly going to end up with a lot of applications on your phone, and each one constantly gets updated, and that requires a new download from the Google Play Store on a frequent basis that are done automatically. You can stop this from occurring on your cellular connection, however. To do this, go to the Google Play Store app and then swipe in from the left side of the screen, choose Settings and then Auto Update Apps option. Make sure that this is set to Auto Update Apps only over Wi-Fi. If there is definitely one thing you want to avoid, that's data roaming charges, where your cellular connection will attempt to find alternative sources for data when your usual one is not available, and that happens when you are abroad. This can cost an absolute fortune, so to make sure it's turned off, go to the data usage screen, press the three dots in the top right hand corner and choose mobile networks. Make sure you toggle off data roaming. If you use YouTube quite a lot on your cellular network, that can use a lot of data. So to limit how much it uses, go to the YouTube app and press the three dots in the top right hand corner of the screen and then choose Settings. Next, select General and then make sure the Limit Mobile Data Usage is ticked so that it doesn't stream video in high definition. If you are also a YouTuber and create your own videos, you can set the upload option to only upload videos when you are connected to Wi-Fi. If you use Google Plus as a social media platform, there are a few tweaks you can make to conserve data. As usual, it's those three dots in the top right hand corner that will help you out. The first and most obvious option is to conserve data usage, but you can check for low quality images. The second is auto backup. The most ideal situation would be to have this off completely, but if you do want it on, in the backup settings, you can ensure that backing up photos and videos only takes place when you are connected to Wi-Fi and that it doesn't back up when and if you are roaming on a data network. A lot of applications require accounts, such as Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, games and productivity apps like calendars and note-taking. This means your phone is constantly using data to make sure these accounts are synced. You can turn off auto-syncing by going to Settings and then Accounts. If you press the three dots in the top right hand corner, you will see a auto-syncing data option. Turning this off will save you a lot of data, but you will lose a lot of benefits, such as no notifications for social media and emails and anything else really. You will have to manually sync everything, which is a pain, so I advise only using this option if you are really short on data allowance. To take a screenshot of currently what's on your screen, hold the power down and volume down button at exactly the same time for about a second. The screen will flash and the phone will make a noise to alert you that a screenshot has been taken. You can then swipe down in notifications to see it. If you set alarms through the default Android Lollipop clock application, you can see when the next one is due by looking at the notifications quick settings. You can also tap on this alarm to quickly access it. If you want to add a row of numbers to the top of the default Android Lollipop keyboard, start by long pressing on the comma button until a cog appears, and then you want to select Google Keyboard Settings. Now choose Appearance and Settings followed by Customized Input Styles. Press the plus icon in the top right of the screen and then choose your language. Next is the layout, and this is the important one because you want to choose PC. When you press Add, it will ask you if you want to enable it, which you do. On this screen, you'll need to toggle off Use System Language and then toggle on the new PC keyboard you've just created. With that done, your new number-featured keyboard will appear. Like so many Android devices before it, the Lollipop operating system supports USB devices. To kick off any USB device, you will need an OTG or on-the-go cable. You can easily get such a cable from Amazon for around $2 or less. The micro USB side plugs into your device and then you can use USB devices as normal. Most don't require additional applications, just plug them in and see if they work. You will find mice and keyboards work perfectly. However, if you want to use storage devices like USB sticks and hard drives, you will need supporting applications like Nexus Media Importer. If you want the ability to end calls using the power button, go to Settings and then scroll down to Accessibility. Then scroll down this screen until you find the power button ends call toggle and switch it on. If you want to add a message to your lock screen, go to Settings and then choose Security. On the security screen, you want to choose the Owner Info option. On this screen, check the Show Owner Info on Lock Screen box and then type in your message. Next time you bring up the lock screen, this message will be displayed. Two phone features that can be of an acquired taste for different users are touch sounds and vibrate on touch. These two options can be toggled on or off through the settings screen via sound and notifications and then other sounds. For computer connection options, go to Storage in the settings screen and then press the dots in the top right hand corner and select USB computer connection. If you select Media Device MTP, it will act as a hard drive. However, if your computer doesn't support this, or you want to limit access to just pictures on your phone, choose Camera. If you want to do a spring clean of how all your applications function on your device, in Settings, go to Apps, use the three dots in the top right hand corner and select Reset Preferences. This will reset any disabled apps, undo notifications that you've disabled, clear default app launchers, clear background data amendments, and any permission restrictions. Sometimes applications that you download will require device administrator rights to use them or be deactivated to uninstall them. The screen to do this can be found in Security Settings and then the Device Administrator options. From here, it's a simple case of toggling them on or off, depending on what you want to do with the application. If you download an application outside of Google Play and try to install it, you will be hit by this message and be blocked. By default, Android doesn't trust applications not downloaded from Google Play, but you can disable this by going to Settings and then Security and then toggling the Unknown Sources option. This will warn you that Google cannot vouch for these applications and you install them at your own risk. If you are happy to accept this, press OK, go back to your downloaded application and you should be allowed to install it. In quick settings, both the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth options have double actions. If you tap on the icons themselves, this will simply toggle Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on or off. However, if you press on the words below the icons, these will take you to their respective settings screens, where you can tinker with both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as much as you want. If you want to change the user profile picture, then bring up the profile screen and press on More Settings. Then for the current user only, you can press on the image to either change the profile picture or change the name. You can choose edit and crop a picture from the gallery, but I won't be held responsible for the sort of picture you end up using. To create a new user, simply bring up the user profile screen and then press on the add button to create a new user within seconds. This user will not see data and apps from other users, although they can update apps if they end up downloading the same ones as other users on the handset. Also bear in mind that when you create a new user, you will have to go through the same setup of an account like you did when you first bought the handset. When a new user is set up, they don't automatically have access to make phone calls or send SMS messages. The owner or administrator of a device is the only profile that can do this, so as the main user, go to More Settings and you will see cogs next to each user that you can press on and then toggle the options that allow the particular user to use telephonic services. If you want the ability to add users from the lock screen when you have security enabled on your handset, go to More Settings and then press the three dots in the top right hand corner of the screen. There will be an option here marked Add Users when device is locked. If you check that, when the device is next locked and you bring up the profile screen, you can now add new user profiles. If you want to add a temporary user to the device, the best way forward is to create a guest user. This will start a fresh profile that's not connected to any of your Google accounts, so they can't access your data or applications. It bypasses the regular setup screen, so it's a quick way for someone to browse the internet, watch YouTube, or take some pictures. You can easily switch back and forth between profiles, and every time you return to the guest account, it will ask you if you want to start a new session or continue with the previous one. When you are logged in as a guest, you can remove the guest user at any time. If you go to More Settings from the user profile screen, you can add a new user but not have to immediately set them up by pressing on the Not Now option. To delete a user, you must use the device owner user profile, press on the cog and then select the Delete User option. If you want to completely restrict a user to just one application on the handset, then go to Settings and scroll down to Security before selecting the Screen Pinning option. Toggle this on as well as the Lock Device when unpinning option. Now, go to the application you want to lock and then press the Overview button in the bottom right hand corner of the device. This will bring up a recent list of applications, and you want to scroll this list up a little bit to reveal a green pin. This is the pinning tool, and when you press on that, it will return to the application and you will be locked into it. The back and home buttons will no longer work as a means to quit the application, and the only way to get out of it is to long press on the Overview button again, and this will of course lock the device. This might be useful when you want to let a child only play on one game or watch videos on YouTube. To reveal a hidden Android Lollipop, go to the settings screen and then choose the About Phone option at the bottom of the screen. Find the area that lists your current Android version number and then start tapping it until a huge lollipop appears. You can then tap on this lollipop to change the colour. From this lollipop screen you can play a secret minigame based on Flappy Birds. Long press on the lollipop and it will change into an Android, and you can tap that Android through lollipops. A word of warning though, this game is tough. To access developer mode, go to settings and then go to the About Phone option and scroll down to the very bottom of the screen. Where it says build number, start tapping and a message will appear that says you are a few steps away from being a developer. Keep tapping it until the message "you are a developer" appears. Now if you back out of this screen onto the main settings screen, at the bottom the option will now be developer mode, and you can toggle this on or off. Just a word of warning though, you mess with these settings at your own risk. If you have multiple user profiles on your device, you can see how much storage each user is taking up by going to settings, then storage, and going to the bottom of the screen where it will show the user name and the space they are taking up. You can find out more information about your device by going to settings and the About Phone option. This displays information that you might need when diagnosing issues, and to help you get this information quickly, you can long press on each of the sections to copy the text to your clipboard so that you can paste it somewhere else if you need to. The default camera application has a green strip down the right hand side, and you can swipe in from that side of the screen to reveal scientific calculator options. You can also achieve the same effect by tilting your device to a landscape orientation. To give some of the text on your device a black bold outline, go to settings and then scroll down to accessibility. On this screen you want to select high contrast mode. Toggle it on and then return to your home screen. Now it might not be immediately apparent, but the icon text will now have this bold outline effect, as well as the clock and lock screen text. It may not be to your liking, but it is a nice little effect to consider. If you've unlocked developer mode, one small side effect of this is the ability to go to your app list using the button in the bottom right hand corner of your device and then long pressing on an icon to take you to the application info screen for that application. If you want to talk to your device even when it's asleep, you can do this through the Google Now voice activation. To get this, go to the Google app and then press on the bars in the top left hand corner and then choose settings. Next you want to go to voice and then OK Google detection. Toggle the always on option and you will be prompted to say OK Google 3 times so that it can record your voice and recognise it. This might take a couple of tries before it works, but once it's set up, lock your device and start having a conversation.
OK Google, what's the weather like in Vancouver?
It's 10 degrees and mostly cloudy in Vancouver.
One fascinating and, when you think about it, terrifying feature is the Google location history. You can find this by going to settings and then choosing location. At the bottom of this screen, choose location history and then press the 3 dots in the top right hand corner of the screen. Press on the View Manage button and this will take you to a Google web page where it will show you all the places your devices have been that are connected to Google. If this is new to you, then you might find it a bit invasive, but every time you've downloaded an application or used a Google service, you've most likely agreed to these location services terms. And if you've got multiple devices connected to Google, it will think you've been back and forth to several locations all at the same time. It can even track your history back 30 days. So what happens in Vegas now seems to stay on Google's servers. And finally, by far and away, the most important tip of them all. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please tap that thumbs up button and give me some positive feedback. And if you want to see more of my work at the Video Gadgets Journal, don't hesitate to press on the subscribe button as well. And I'd love to hear what you think, so say hello and add your Nexus 6 tips and tricks to the comments section. From the very bottom of my YouTube heart, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.